Hello and welcome back to Bridging Minds, the science podcast of the German Embassy here in Delhi. My name is Viktoria. I am the science counselor at the embassy, and I am here today with Poonam Suri and Himanshu Chawla from Max Planck Society and RWTH University in Aachen, Germany. Thank you so much for being here. I would say, why do I introduce you? You know yourself best. Himanshu, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, as your institution goes way back with India. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself and your institution.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you also for inviting me for this podcast. I'm really glad that I was part of it. Okay, so as Victoria said, I'm Himanshu and I represent RWTH Aachen University in India. I've joined them in February this year, and I was working earlier in the Indo-German scientific and development sector landscape since almost 14 years. And now when I have to talk about my university, everyone knows about it, but still it is one of the top technical universities in Europe, based in the city of Aachen in Western Germany. We have around 45,000 students in total, and out of them, 2,400 students, only Indian students we have. That means we have a considerable amount of students coming from India to Aachen. And if I'm not wrong, these are the maximum number of students a German university has. This also accounts for one thing, which is the best with our university. It is a hub for cutting-edge research and education when it comes to fields like architecture, engineering, technology, management, and medicine. Now, if we talk about the rankings that the universities has, RWTH Aachen University is one of the 100 most important and best universities in the world. And this is actually in the rankings that we see all over the world. And this is also another aspect which gives this university a tag of University of Excellence. So there are 11 universities in Germany which are excellence universities, and RWTH Aachen is one of them. And under this excellence tag, it has 3 cluster projects. 2 have been continuing, and they have recently been approved again for continuation. And we have received funding approval for 1 more project. So we're glad to be there. And the basic research focus that we have is we focus on the pressing global challenges that the world faces at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Himanshu, for this overview. We mentioned a lot, and I can see immediately why we have this match and why there is an office of RWTH here. Maybe you wanna describe a little bit more your role as head of RWTH India office here in Delhi.
Yeah, of course. I'd say that I act as a bridge between the university and the dynamic academic landscape that we have in India. And I think one quality that I bring in is also the language part, that I speak German. So it's easier to communicate between the two different landscapes, whether it's German or Indian. Apart from that, my responsibilities include expanding RWTH's research collaborations in India with Indian institutions, supporting current and prospective students, also coordinating with the Indian alumni that we have, and it's a big number. As I said, 2,400 students, so we'll have more and more alumni coming in the coming years, and also fostering new research projects within institutions. Apart from this, one of my major tasks is also to coordinate with German institutions in India, whether it's DAAD, German Academic Exchange Service, TWIH, or the German Embassy, with you, of course. And there, I ensure that RWTH Aachen plays an important and strategic role when it comes to Indo-German scientific relations. And this I also do together with my colleague, Dr. Fabian Falter, who is based in Aachen.
You mentioned that your role also entails expanding research collaborations. Before we maybe dive into this, like the future outlooks a little bit later, I want to take a step back and look into the past, since RWTH Aachen is maybe the first German institution that collaborated with India. Maybe you want to tell us the story a little bit that goes way back.
Absolutely. So RWTH's connection with India started in 1960, quite a long time
Quite
now.
a long time.
And it has grown stronger year by year. And it has been decades now that we have this relationship. And one of our most important partnership, or I would say strategic partnership that we have, is with Indian Institute of Technology in Madras, IIT Madras. We call it as our sister university. This strategic partnership is on all levels, whether it's student exchange or it's discussions on the leadership level. As both universities are complementary to each other, it allows research, learning, and student mobility to an extent that is far beyond any other university that RWTH Aachen has collaborated with. And this partnership is characterized by two firsts, I would say. First, in the first sense of having first Indo-German university partnership agreement that happened in 1966. So that was the first. And the second first is, which is very recent, in 2024, we have the first joint master degree program in Indo-German context. And this was on water security and global change. And Dresden University of Technology is part of it. Mm-hmm. Apart from this, what also plays an important role for our partnerships is basically that we collaborate with high-profile universities and on university-wide level. Recently, we concluded an MOU with Indian Institute of Technology in Roorkee. So that's how the partnerships are arranged when it comes to Indo-German context for us.
Lovely. Thank you so much. I'll definitely come back to the sister university. It's like a one that I like very much. But first, I will lead over to Poonam. Maybe you'd like to introduce yourself as well, but also Max Planck Society, as I named it, the powerhouse.
So first of all, I would like to thank you to extend invitation to us today for today's podcast. My name is Poonam Suri and I work for India office of Max Planck Society. I represent India and Southeast Asia here. And basically what I do is building scientific networks and facilitating scientific cooperations between India and Germany, especially Max Planck Institutes. With my extensive experience in research management and science administration, I have had opportunity to lead several projects, which were basically organizing high-impact scientific workshops, which led to research later on, and also alumni collaborations. When I come to Max Planck Society, basically I think everybody knows Max Planck Society, at least in the research community. Max Planck Society is an organization which is working basically in basic research in the field of humanities, social sciences, natural sciences, and life sciences. With 84 institutions and facilities in Germany and around the world, we have set us apart. We have around 31 Nobel laureates in our rank of institutes, and this really sets us apart. Our core mission is basically we believe that knowledge is everything. So with knowledge, we mean basic science. So if we know basic science, if we are doing basic research, we would have better understanding of our world, which will eventually lead to impactful research. So this is what we do in a gist.
Perfect. You already took away a question that I, saved for afterwards, since, I just described Max Planck as somewhat of a powerhouse. One has to be fair. There is a lot of research powerhouses in Germany. But Max Planck, you named it, more than 80 institutions, 84, I think you said, 31 Nobel Prizes. Am I correct? Yes. That alone is, of course, very special. But maybe you can highlight some specific areas or projects with focus on India that Max Planck Society is working on right now or is looking to work at in the recent future.
So actually we have over 70 collaborations in India.
Wow.
We are working in various domains ranging from, again, physics to chemistry to microbiology, to life sciences, plant genome research, and then humanities and social sciences. So we just to give you a gist of it, I would like to highlight few collaborations. Climate is an important topic. So we are doing greenhouse gas monitoring with ICER Bhopal. Then we are working in the field of stellar solar physics in collaboration with Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Inter-University Center for Astronomy and Astrophysics in Pune. And then we have very active collaboration in the field of risk literacy and cognitive decision making with TAPMI Management Institute. We recently signed MOU to extend our cooperation here in India in legal history. So this is with NLSIU, National Law School of India University, and Nalsar, Hyderabad. So you can see we are doing a lot with India, and India is a very important partner for us.
And there's definitely something for everybody who's interested in doing research, I see. With all this going on in Max Planck Society, how does the institution kind of prioritize research areas, if it's possible? But I feel like in science, sometimes you want to be up to date, even in basic research. You want to tap into new areas. So is there a way of prioritizing within the society?
Our priority is basically our people.
Got it.
So our institutes, they are designed around two principles, which is scientific autonomy, so which means scientists, they decide on their own science, and Harnick principle, which means people, not programs. So our institutes, they are designed around the scientists we are working with. Our programs are designed around the people we are working with. So this basically gives us unique opportunity to incorporate scientific freedom, then high trust funding, and then systems. Then we can recruit elite talent from all over the world. And our core still remains the same, which is basic science. So our directors, who are visionaries, they know what is going on around the world, what could be the topic that could lead to future. So basically they decide on their own research areas, they define their own research topics, they choose their own team to do this research. So this allows us to do really high impact research and novel-worthy science. So
love it. So a trust system, so to say, right? You have the right people, and you can trust them to do what they do best. Thank you so much. Back to Himanshu with maybe a similar question. What are some successful projects, initiatives between RWTH Aachen and India that you maybe are particularly proud of or want to highlight?
As I mentioned, our sister university, that's what I would like to first highlight. That is first and foremost for us, because it's been decades that we are working with them, IIT Madras. And both universities benefit from this partnership enormously. There are so many different disciplines which are part of this partnership. But what I can highlight right now is that for 15 years, both institutions were co-leading the Indo-German Center for Sustainability, IGCS, which involved many other German universities as well. And what we recently had or initiated was Global Water and Climate Adaptation Center, funded by the German Federal Foreign Office through DAAD, and it significantly contributes to the idea of education, research, and transfer. And the project involves universities, our university, that's RWTH Aachen, we have the university in Bangkok, we have IIT Madras, Chennai, and then we have the Technical University in Dresden. And that's why we happily call it ABCD, Aachen, Bangkok, Chennai, and Dresden. What is also a very small project, but dear to our heart, is Fast Track Bachelor Admission Program. We offer this program to highly qualified school students who are good performing and they speak German. They can enter our bachelor's program directly. And this is, we do also with the PASH network of schools that Goethe Institute or Max Müller Bhavan has. And in this respect, we also have collaborations with few schools in Delhi NCR.
That sounds like a real good opportunity.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know when I both invited you that you both had this much of a focus on sustainability, but obviously it's a perfect match today, like you highlighted. I obviously know the IGCS, which did a splendid job. I wanna tap back into the fast track bachelor maybe a little bit that you just mentioned. It's time for a pitch from your side. If I was a student or researcher from India, why should I collaborate with you or go study at RWTH Aachen?
RWTH Aachen University has academic excellence, but it is combined with a global outlook. For Indian students, this means access to top-tier programs, cutting-edge labs, and robust industry linkages. And especially in the state where Aachen is located, there is an industrial triangle, Aachen, Cologne, and Düsseldorf. This is what would help students afterwards or during their programs when they want to intern there or they want to later on work. We offer all programs in Masters in English and also in PhD. This also helps students to kind of understand and be in the programs, excel in the programs. Although German language, I would always suggest, is important to integrate yourself in the society. And the city of Aachen, it's student-friendly, multicultural, well-connected to Europe. Aachen share borders with Netherlands and Belgium. So it's easy. One could go to Netherlands, one could go to Belgium in like 20 minutes. Apart from that, a major thing that I want to highlight is our Welcome Center, which is also further strengthened by many projects which promote talent and are funded by the German Education Ministry. And what we have done for our international student is that we have foreigners registration office in our campus. Ausländeramt has their office in our campus so that students could register directly at the campus. They don't have to go anywhere else. They don't have to wait for their appointment. Nothing. They can just go there and register themselves. Also, one aspect that I want to mention that also is connected, that is kind of connected to the culture of India in Aachen, is the Association of Indian Students. It's a very strong association, and they also help feel other Indian students who are incoming to feel at home. And this is what I'd like to highlight, that, we have to accept in some way Indian diaspora attracts more Indians towards themselves. And this is what I feel is really good in Aachen.
Yeah, that's true. And obviously it's easier to settle in a place as an international student or researcher that is quite international. Maybe this could be my keyword to go back to you. Poonam, Max Planck Society as well is super international. If you go through the names of researchers, you will find predominantly foreign, quote-unquote, names. What do you offer international researchers? What do you offer Indian researchers when they want to come and do research at one of your institutes?
So first you'll have to tell me how much time do we have?
Well, considerable amount of briefness would be appreciated, but maybe you can name us some of the highlights.
Sure. Actually, we have plethora of opportunities. So, when I talk about it statistically, so nearly 40% of directors, they are non-German.
Wow.
About 75% of our postdoctoral researchers, they are not from Germany. And about 50 to 60% of our PhD and visiting researchers, again, they are non-German passport holders. So you can imagine how international Max Planck is. And for Indian audience, we have, again, plethora of opportunities. I would just like to highlight some of these here. So we have fast track integrated master's PhD program. We have these programs only in 3 domains. So cognition, photonics, and matter to life. So you start with your master's and then you ended up having a PhD degree. Then we have over 60 international Max Planck research schools. So international Max Planck research schools, they are like structured PhD program. So you have to align yourself in our research field in order to apply for these programs. So these are completely like online platforms. We announce calls 1 to 2 times a year. And generally this is also advertised in Viznama, a scientific newsletter of German embassy on regular basis. So if somebody wants to know where they can learn about it, of course they can register for Viznama or look at our portals.
Thank you for promoting our newsletter. Please all subscribe to the Science Viznama newsletter of the embassy.
Yeah. And then, of course, we also have opportunities for postdoctoral researchers. So now we have changed our format. So earlier, we used to open calls from institute to institute, but now we are announcing calls only 2 times a year. So first call was announced in April, in the first week of April, and you have time of about 6 weeks to apply for a postdoctoral position. And the second call will be announced around autumn. So we advertise this on several platforms, including Viznama again, but also at RWTH website, and we also inform our partners about these calls. Then, if you're already associated here at Indian University, we have something called mobility grants. So for mobility grants, you can apply within 10 years of your PhD. You can spend 1 month at a Max Planck Institute for 3 consecutive years. So with one application, you can visit Germany 3 times. Mm-hmm. And for 3 consecutive years, you have to spend at least 1 month at a Max Planck Institute. You can extend it in discussion with the institute if need be. And whenever we are talking about going to Germany in India, people think we are encouraging brain drain. But
yes, definitely. Mm-hmm.
At Max Planck, we actually promote brain circulation. So we have platforms where we encourage people to go back to their home country. If they come back to their home country, we have a program called Max Planck Partner Group. And you can apply for Max Planck Partner Group within 7 years of your PhD. And with this program, you can avail a funding of 100,000 euros for a period of 5 years and stay connected to Max Planck Institutes in Germany. We have around 90 Max Planck partner groups here in India, out of which over 20 are still active. And last year, we celebrated 20 years of our Max Planck partner group program.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And so these are few opportunities, but then also again, I mentioned earlier that we believe in scientific autonomy and Harnick principles. So we are not at all only about programs. So in case somebody is interested in collaborating with a Max Planck Institute, there are different funding opportunities available. They can always contact our Max Planck Institutes directly. So, yeah.
Perfect. So a direct hotline, and if that doesn't work out, obviously they can contact you in India.
Yeah.
Lovely. I feel like it's important to stress that we all in the scientific community believe in circulation of knowledge and not the system of brain drain. I feel like basic research is the best example where this is so crucial to have the discourse and the exchange over all levels and borders, right? I want to first come back to you, Himanshu, with one last question that I have for you, looking a little bit into the future, as we talked about the past and the history of the institution. I wanted to know if there's any trends that RWTH follows with regards to studying international students, or if there's any specific research area that you plan on tapping in. Yes, if you have any answers, would be appreciated.
Yeah, so the research focus of RWTH Aachen University, it actually reflects the global challenges that we face. Be it sustainability, as Poonam also mentioned, so I think Germany is working towards it. We all know that. Climate resilience, AI, biomedical technology, and next-gen mobility. Our strategy as an integrated interdisciplinary university of science and technology is to actually break these disciplinary silos so that we come up with some new research which gives high impact knowledge. We also expect the number of Indian students and researchers to increase in the future. This will actually help us to have more ties with Indian institutions, but also to increase our alumni network in India. And this is what is also very important for us. With IIT Madras, I have to mention again, it is very important for us. We are running several study and research programs, whether there is structural development at the university, at the institution. RWTH Aachen is always there with IIT Madras. And what I see as these partnerships, I have to mention we have partnerships with IIT Bombay also, Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, and I also mentioned the recent one, IIT Roorkee. So these partnerships are not just academic exchanges, but these are shared platforms to tackle the grand challenges of our times. Whether it's clean energy, whether it's smart infrastructure, or AI for sustainability. These are the latest trends that we follow that we would like to pursue further. And India remains quite central to our international strategy. And we are excited to see what lies ahead in the future for us. And we really look forward to it.
Thank you so much. On this positive note, I almost don't dare to ask my last question to Poonam. But I give you two questions. I give you a similar question that I ask Himanshu. Maybe you have a feeling also for basic research. Things change. Maybe you can tell us about new trends or areas that Max Planck explores. Maybe this we take it as a last question. But as a first question, second to last, I want to ask you if there are any challenges with all this Indo-German scientific cooperation, maybe you have faced some, or maybe you say everything is easy. I don't know. Let us hear it.
So first of all, what is life without a challenge?
True.
So wherever there is an opportunity, there is a challenge. And I think in our roles as science administrators, we try to overcome these challenges to our best of capacities. Some of the challenges that I would like to highlight here is first is research framework. So it is very different in Germany. So in Germany, when we talk about research, especially at Max Planck Institutes, we talk about basic research and bottom-up approach. Mm-hmm. But when we talk about research here in India, then we are talking about top-down and mostly applied research, because the need for India is different when it comes to research. So there is a bit of disparity there, but still we try to make it work. And then
obviously successful, sorry.
Yeah. And then also when you talk about research infrastructure, it has improved a lot in India in last 15 to 20 years. But still there is a lot of disparity, I would say. That, Indian institutes, when you go to IISc Bangalore or IISERs or new IITs, then everything is quite neat and in place. But if we talk about state universities or other research institutes, it has a different picture altogether. And then also then cultural and communication gaps. Again, here I would not highlight the language difference. So language is not a barrier, because especially at Max Planck Institute, because everybody converses in English and our research is done in English most of the time. Sure. So, but then there are gaps when it comes to work tempo. Or expectations or timelines. So this also creates a bit of disparity. These are few things, but again, I think despite of all these challenges, India and Germany, they are doing very well globally when it comes to academic ties or research. So they're doing very well, and I really keep my fingers crossed that it stays the same or it only progresses further.
Yeah, so this is actually, we have to address ourselves with this to continue the work that we do, so it keeps moving on. Thank you so much. Poonam, Himanshu, thank you both for being here, and hope to see you both very soon. Thank you to all the listeners for tuning in. I hope to see you at the next episode. Please like and subscribe, and have a good rest of the day.